They basically grab hold of me, strip me naked, give me a traffic cone to cover the most embarrassing bits, and I have to run 1.5 miles back to the training ground.
I mentioned that you played at Wimbledon in a fantastically charismatic team with, the Vinnie Joneses of the world. And I was just wondering, when you showed up to Wimbledon and you got to that dressing room, was there a moment when you realized that this was different from other teams you'd played in, that somebody like Vinnie Jones was different from other teammates you'd had?
I mean, I'd moved from Port Vale, a club I was at from a youngster, and we played great, nice football, and everything was lovely about it. And then you move down to this dressing room of, I almost say to people, think of it as like walking into the Game of Thrones. These big personalities, big characters, these big. There's lots of opinions, and you've got to get in there. You've got to hold your own. You've got to kind of stand your ground now and then, and show that if need be, you got to fight for what you believe in. So all that came in a short space of time. But I always say there's a very famous Wimbledon initiation that went on through the years, and it basically was the new players that came. The rest of the group are going to do something to kind of endear you to the group and bring you in as one of the members of the crazy gang. And I remember my first morning, I go down, it's a lovely setting near Wimbledon Common where the training ground was, and we go off for this 3-mile kind of warm-up run before we getting into training. And you go through this run through the Wimbledon Common, and it's a lovely area. The older people having walks, these mothers with babies, these kids all around. And you run to this little lake, you go around the lake and run back to the training ground. So we get all the way to the lake and we're jogging. I hear a few of the guys whispering. And then just as we're turning back to go to the training ground, they basically grab hold of me, strip me naked, give me a traffic cone to cover the most embarrassing bits. And I have to run 1.5 miles back to the training ground with a traffic cone as my only shield. Obviously apologizing as I did on the way. And that was sort of Wimbledon's introduction to saying, okay, you're one of us now. This is you. Accept that this is your membership, and then you move on. So I accepted it. We got on a train the next day and a train the day, and we moved on. And yeah, it was that kind of made me realize what I was joining and who I was getting involved with. But I have to say, looking back, it was a brilliant time to play football. It was Sir Alex was building that team that we battled against a few times, won against him a few times, got hammered against him a few times as well. And yet Arsene Wenger coming in at Arsenal, and Chelsea weren't the Chelsea that we know now. Man City weren't the Man City that we know now. But it was still a great league, still great to play in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw a photo of you leaning out of a window with an Armani suit and a fire extinguisher trying to put out your fire.
There's a player who signed John Hodgson from West Ham, and he came for a record $5 million fee at the time, which obviously would seem like nothing now. Anyway, he came for his game. He came for his press mass interview with a nice Armani suit and shirt and tie and looking $1 million. And when he went to do the interview, he set his suit alight. So it starting to cause a fire in the dressing room, so I had to put it outside the window so it didn't set the whole building on fire. So yeah, that was just another of the introduction. So yeah, $2,000 suit got burned while he went through his press conference, but that was him accepting being part of the Wimbledon crazy gang.
Yeah, I can't imagine it happening in Pep Guardiola's dressing room.
No,
maybe it's more
or Mikel Arteta's world. Not quite sure it fits there.